Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of The Bench Seat. As always, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share. I think you need to do a better job of telling people to subscribe.
Okay, I'm not really good at this stuff, but I always like coming here to the Black Valve Coliseum. Brought to you by Black Valve Media. So thank you to Black Valve Media here for providing us the Black Valve Coliseum. But back to your statement there.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough because you don't want to spring this on people, and I think, I think that we'll have some good content, and it's exciting, and it's cool, but I don't want to push it on too much on people. But I understand that's kind of the business of the podcasting. But there's so many podcasts out there that push it on people to where it's just like, if you want to come and join and listen and laugh, go ahead. If you don't, well, it's not for you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two sides of it. I think definitely you're right. And look, this is episode 3. This is going to be we're in the long game here,
right,
you and I, with Black Valve Media.
Yes.
And Edelmaid also, who, by the way, incredible branding. We have to give a shout to Edelmaid.
Shout out to Edelmaid.
Out of Cincinnati.
Yes.
Mike and Lauren, incredible team.
If you're into branding,
if
and
you
need
branding
something done, Edelmaid.
Yeah.
They're
and
your
that's
people.
like they do show. Not only do the podcast shows, they also do like restaurants, just businesses in general. I don't know any other businesses aside from restaurants. The point is this. This is a long run for us. So it's going to, like, our true fans are going to come through, but I think we should also be shameless and just being like, fucking subscribe, dude. Like, because you know what? When I wasn't into the internet, I would consume stuff and not subscribe. And I didn't really realize like what's the difference, but like subscribing helps,
No, it
We're
definitely
trying to get
does.
paid.
So you heard it here. Subscribe to the Bench Sheet.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
YouTube
also,
is the most important.
And also follow us on Instagram. Well, that's not important, but just subscribe on YouTube, the Bench Sheet. But moving on, I'm here.
You are here, and I do want to say, like, let's give a shout to you and I for dedication. It's 10:41 on a Sunday evening.
Yeah. And
here we are in Cleveland in a snowstorm.
Yeah, it was snowing out there. The snowflakes were coming down. There was rain a little bit. It was icy out. We had a basketball game tonight. The Cavaliers are rolling a little bit.
Yeah.
We beat the Boston Celtics, the Dean Wade fourth quarter. Dude. Fourth quarters have been a thing for the Cavaliers. That shot heard around the world by Max Strus against the Dallas Mavericks. There's one.
What about your tying 3-point shot? We'll get to all this.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to this because that stuff is really important. And you also have been playing really good basketball here the last few games.
I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and just the support system that I've honestly had, because without them I truly am not.
Why are you laughing? This is how you should be.
No, I've been getting my sleep. I've been taking my nutrition, and I've been doing all the right things to stay locked in. No, I mean you have runs in basketball.
We just did one of those NBA things. Those NBA clips are like guys in sync where they both move their feet. We just did one. We're going to be on the next NBA one.
We're
cut you off.
But it's a process, and there's a lot of games, so you want to keep it. When you're rolling, you want to see how long you can keep it rolling for and stay consistent and get into a little routine, as they would say.
The only reason why I wanted to put it off is because I just wanted to tell everybody I drove in a snowstorm here. So just so everyone understands, I drove in a snowstorm. Okay? I'm going to say it a few more times in this episode. But I got here safely. It's funny that we talk about this like rolling, because last week we were talking a little bit about how your job is kind of difficult, being like someone that comes off the bench cold, and you got to be able to perform, cold. And like you didn't have the best game last week, and you turned around in these last 4 games. You're averaging 14.5 points. You've started 3 of them. So like, I don't want to say like what's contributed to that, but like that's got to feel good. You feel good about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you can get out there and put up some buckets, life is good. But with that being said, we're down so many bodies that they're like, let's toss NIANG out there and see.
We'll even start.
Yeah,
NIANG,
we'll see what we can get out of NIANG out there. And no, it's been good to get in a groove. You have a greater appreciation for those guys that are going in and playing 35 minutes a night, because I woke up from a deep REM sleep.
Yeah. Oh, I love REM sleep.
Yeah, I woke up from deep REM sleep probably about 5:30, and let's just say my body was feeling real sore. And like,
Yeah.
you know how you have like a gentle like walk? Mine was like because my legs were so heavy.
Stiff.
So I got a greater appreciation for those guys that are out there logging
Do you
serious
ever-
minutes.
Yeah.
Because it is no joke. Traveling, logging minutes, having the pressure of winning, like it is a real tall task. So shout out to you starters out there putting on for your cities.
Yeah, but you're putting up starter, I guess, stats, points, buckets right now. So it could be worth it because you could get that bag. You feel me? Like another bag, maybe.
Oh my God, this guy.
Okay, I know you're not thinking about that.
Give him premium gas over here.
Do you ice bath ever? Do you ever hop in the cold tub?
I ice bath all the time.
You do?
Yeah. So behind the scenes, I would say probably a good amount of our team does. Probably like half.
Before games, after games, when do you?
I would say there's a few of us that do it before, but everybody usually has like feet to like ice your feet because sweet feet, moving around on those, them joints get on fire.
Yeah.
And
Got some bunions. filled
yeah,
up.
no, we don't do all that. You got to take care of your dog. So beware any place in Cleveland that does pedicures. I will be coming and getting my Johns.
Maybe that'll be our first sponsorship. Is like a nail salon. To scrape the feet off.
But no, I think a lot of guys do ice bath because recovery is half the battle here. Because someone told me the best thing was like the best ability in sports is availability. You want to be able to play.
I mean, there's a reason why Eli Manning is considered like a Hall of Fame quarterback, and a big reason is this guy's just there. Yeah. He just was always available. And in basketball, it's hard. Like I think about all the injuries I had playing JV basketball, 8th grade basketball. It's like you rolled your ankle like once a season. So I can imagine like playing against grown men when you're 30. Dude, I can only imagine the bumps and bruises you're feeling.
Oh, I caught one bruise. I don't know if we don't have the tape up, but
You can pull it up.
when Anthony Edwards, when we played Minnesota the other night, like people don't understand when you watch this guy, like he may look like he's either like moving slow or like effortless, but like when you watch him moving and then you see everybody moving behind him, it's like they're using full speed to catch up to him, and he's just like,
He's easy, smooth.
yeah. And it's almost like so fluid and so he's like a gazelle, but like in a lion's body the way he's moving. So he was coming at me full speed.
Yeah. And he's big. He's also 6'6".
Yes,
right?
and super athletic. So if I didn't judge this at the right time, he's going up and like hoops highlight. They would have did a Players Tribune about how George Niang lost his soul because Anthony Edwards dunked on him.
Yeah.
So I just made an effort to just like foul him, wrap him up so that, and his knee hit my knee so hard. Like
I saw that.
I fell down to the ground, and I don't know what I was thinking in my head, but I was just like, this is the most pain I have felt in so long. But I'm such a big critic of guys that like fall down on the ground. They're like, and then get up and they're good. And I was like, George, you're being one of those fucking guys. Like, get the fuck up. So then I got up and I was like,
You were hurt.
yeah. But nothing was really wrong. Like guys that do that and like get up and play, it's like if you're gonna do that, you need to be subbed out of the game. I.e., Paul Pierce, 2008, like wheelchaired off.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But it's funny because the broadcast, I think it was Monica McNutt. By the way, I love Monica McNutt. I think she's great on the mic. I'm so glad she's getting her flowers now. But she was like, immediately diagnosed it as like knee to knee. Yeah. Knee to knee is one of the worst. And you got caught in the side, it looked like, which is like so painful. And knees are like thumbs where I feel like they just take forever to heal.
Yeah, I got a big old bruise. So shout out Monica McNutt.
Yeah.
I think it was Women's Day.
It was International Women's
Day in sports.
Bro, I got heat for that. My wife and I were watching the game. She gave me heat for not putting a post up about International Women's Day.
Well, shame on you, but shout out to all the women that are doing it in sports and staying successful and doing a great job. Yeah. Because men suck and you guys rock.
Fuck, man. No, but they had a great broadcast. And I did want to, like, it seemed like you and Anthony Edwards had a little friendly banter back and forth.
Yeah. He walked by, I was like, dang, you strong. He's like, shit, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. But in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not good.
My favorite clip, maybe of all time of all NBA players, is when he's on the news show and she's like, "I heard you were good at basketball." He's like everything, swimming, golf. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm like, dude, I love this kid. Dude. He seems like,
and he does a great job. And what was that movie that he was in? Bo Cruz, Hustle.
Hustle with Adam Sandler. Yeah.
He not only is it a great basketball player, but he definitely has an acting career ahead of him. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, he's a star.
Incredible personality. The fact that you can get someone like that, in your organization. Credit to the Timberwolves. They've built it up over there. They do a tremendous job.
This is a side
credit to them.
Side question. Better actor, Ray Allen, and He Got Game, or Willie, I think it was Willie Hernan Gomez, right? Was the guy that played
No, Juancho, his brother.
Juancho
Hernan Gomez.
Who would you give the nod to as far as NBA actors?
Jesus Shuttlesworth that's an all-time. So and I grew up in Boston and got to see a lot of Ray Allen. So Ray, I'm not going to let you down. I would pick you, but when I do see you, if you could give me some nuts, because you ain't been around that much, and from one shooter to another. Yeah, I got love for you, my brother.
I think we got to do like a reunion, or maybe we could write a new script that you guys could be in, and the scene where Denzel was playing him one-on-one,
where he's just like punking him and stuff.
He's the dad. I'll be your dad, and we could play one-on-one.
Kevin, stop. Kevin, let me go.
Okay, yeah, I know. Imagine that. Okay, I did want to ask you a little bit. Speaking of banging knees, getting a little heated, there was a little exchange tonight. Tonight, again, you just played Brooklyn. It's Sunday night. A little bit of heated exchange there with Nick, not Speedy Claxton, because that's not his name, Speedy Claxton.
I don't ever try to make it personal. Yeah. But it just felt, it wasn't a big deal. Like, when you think about it, we're men, we're grown men, and we're in a competitive environment, and I just felt like he hit me in a way that I was like, I've had enough experiences with him where I was like, all right, like, we're not doing this. And then when I did that, I don't know if he really fell like that hard to the ground or his teammate tripped, but he felt some type of way. He tried to single leg wrestler move. Ric Flair was in the building the other night, so I don't know if that's the move that he was trying to pull, but it was like more like a Kurt Angle single leg takedown, and I was like, whoa.
First off, I love the wrestling references here. Yeah. Did you sprawl him out? Did you get down and kind of?
No, I was in the danger zone because I was hopping on one foot.
Oh yeah.
But shout out to our strength trainer D Mill for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've been working on my balance.
Single leg balance.
So therefore I was able to keep my balance, pry my leg out, and then get my hands up. Then I proceeded to push him.
Yeah. In case there are any more further offensive
which
attacks.
Then led to a technical foul where I will be without money for.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
What are they banging? You banging like $10K for?
No, I think it's like $2,500, but that money's going to go to some charity out there because.
Where does the money go, NBA?
Because it is important that that money is used and goes to the right charity. So whatever charity it goes to.
Does it go to a charity? Where does the money go?
I try not to think about burnt money that way. I lost it. So
okay, but I'm saying you lost it. It should be another person's gain. It shouldn't be NBA's gain. Speaking of fines, though, this is another topic. Big fine handed out in your game against the Timberwolves. Really big fine. $100,000 fine for the cash gesture. Now, I'll be honest. I watched it happen. Is he insinuating the ref was getting paid off?
I thought that he saw Johnny Manziel up in section 102 and was doing.
Was he there?
No, he wasn't.
Slamming.
No,
beers,
Rudy, you're my boy. I love you.
Yeah, former teammate.
But that was funny. I give you credit, and I know what you're thinking. I don't know who you were doing it to, and I don't want to speak for you. So if you want to speak for yourself, you're more than welcome to come on the bench seat, but you will have to subscribe on YouTube first.
Yes.
But I know he was probably doing that at Scott Foster, and that was not only costly money-wise, but I think we hit a free throw to tie the game.
You did, and ended up winning that game.
Yeah. No,
they were up one.
97-96.
Yep. Get a very costly technical, and that's a huge game. Obviously, you guys are two different conferences, So it's not necessarily going to come down to like a tiebreaker probably, but every game it feels like in this latter half of the year,
we
latter
have
stretch of
18
the year.
games left. Every game matters, especially at this point. Like you can't make up. You want to make up for games that you dropped in November, December. You want to make up for them now, not lose ground and feel like you have to make up for them the last 5 games of the year. That is an uncomfortable place to be when you have not taken care of business and you have to make up for it and start praying that other teams lose and you need other teams to win. You do not want to be in that position, I promise you.
Yeah, and it seems like the last few years with the play-in, all of a sudden it's a lot harder to feel cushy because you got to be top 6 to feel cushy.
Oh, yeah.
Because 7, 8, you might as well be out of the playoffs. You're not necessarily in it anymore. So all of a sudden these last 5 games, 10 games, 18 games of the season matter a lot more, it feels like, than they did 5 years ago.
No, absolutely. And then you look at that, a team that's in the play-in, Miami lost to Atlanta at home.
Right.
Then Miami goes and barely beats Chicago, and then somehow turns around and beats Milwaukee, who everybody was like, they're all world.
Then the Knicks, then the Celtics.
Yeah, well, get ready because the NBA playoffs are coming up here in the middle of April, and it's going to be a show, and I can't wait for you guys to watch it.
Yeah, and you'll be there.
Yes, we will.
Bang, bang, Georges Niang. Speaking of the Celtics, you also beat the Celtics. So you beat 2 of the 2 top-seeded teams in the NBA for respective conferences. 2 really big wins. What does that do in a locker room for you guys? Do you guys get jazzed up, or are you kind of very much like, well, good thing we got that one. We got whoever up next.
It wasn't the fourth quarter. It was the Dean quarter. Shout out Dean Wade. Dean Wade, 7 for 7, I think, in the fourth quarter. Unreal. Yeah. Came in hotter than mother flipping fish grease. He was
hot.
out there cooking. Yeah. Out there looking like Travis Kelce's twin on Kelce Brothers bobblehead night.
I forgot it was bobblehead night. And he did come in very
hot. From one
hot.
Kansas City legend to another.
Is he a Kansas City guy?
Well, Travis plays in Kansas City, and Dean's from Kansas. So
oh, that's correct.
And that was unreal. And they kind of look a little alike with the beard.
They like broed out at the end of the game.
It was amazing. And the fact that, Travis Kelce was in there just juicing the crowd up. Dude, Jason Kelce was, chugging beer, which I honestly.
Did you apologize for the first time you met him?
No, I didn't bring that up. I don't, like I told you, I don't like bringing up sad stuff. So, but Jason, I do apologize because I didn't recognize you the first time, but you're a legend and I love you.
Did you get to talk to them at all? Like,
I talked to them a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to, make it too big of a deal.
It's cool because Jason is such a Philly legend. Like, he is cemented in Philly forever as a Philly legend. And Travis, also in Kansas City, absolute legend. Yeah. But people, not that they forget, now that their podcast is showing light in it, but they're Cleveland guys. They're from Cleveland Heights. That's like, feel like Cleveland proper, right? I mean, I don't know
the Heights. I don't even know where that is, and I've been in Cleveland for about.
I think it's south of here. It's close to here. It's east. Okay. Yeah, it's east of Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah,
Have you been?
Coming in from nowhere. No, I have not been, but I would go if they did offer up like a duck tour, to just cruise around Cleveland Heights.
Why a duck tour? You mean like going in the water?
No, I just mean I'm sure there's a river over there we could pop in, see, the town library. This is the field that.
If you look over here to the right, this is the field that Jason Kelce was actually a running back and not a center.
He was a running back, and it's crazy is he was like a preferred walk-on running back linebacker at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't think people understand like his journey, how crazy that is. Like when you come from a place where you're switching positions, and I've never done it in football, but the fact that you can just put your helmet on and be like, all right, this is what I'm used to. I'm going to do something different. And next thing you know, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's going to be first ballot.
Yeah, and he has been a Pro Bowler. He's
I think 6-time All-Pro.
Yeah, and to do that and be humble and just be a regular person, I think those are the type of guys that you cheer for.
Yeah.
That's kind of, the guys that come off the bench seat and come in there and go to the Hall of Fame.
Or guys that like score 34 points in a men's league basketball game at 36, and it's a running clock, and they go 8 for 8 for free throws. These things people care about.
Yeah, they do.
Speaking of dedication, I missed my playoff game today to be here. Luckily, we got the win though.
Yeah, got that done.
Which I was like, I almost felt like Dante DiVincenzo when he got hurt for the Bucks. I was like, damn, you guys can win without me. Like I was kind of tight a little bit.
You were looking inward.
I was, in a weird way, I was kind of hoping they'd lose so I could be like, yeah, I'm really like that. But I guess I'm not. I got some good players. Serge and Andy helped down. Craziness. What were we talking about? Okay, Boston. And afterwards, I can't think of his name right now. Why am I? Jason Tatum had a couple of words. He didn't have the best game, or people kind of were like on him for not scoring a lot. And that's been a theme sometimes in some of his big games. He doesn't necessarily, not that he disappears, but there's games where he's not really taking over. And people, I think people of the naked eye really want to like harp on that. Like, oh, you should be scoring every point at the end of games. But you sent me a video that I wanted to play because it kind of speaks to that. Do you want to like,
Yeah, no, I think it's important because every fan that's out there, hootie rah rah, telling us what they know. All right, Adrian Wojnarowski of the Twitter world, like not the real Adrian Wojnarowski.
The other one.
You little Twitter trolls. You want to say, oh, Jason Tatum this, Jason Tatum that. Play the clip.
Let's play the clip.
Play the clip so everybody can see it.
I'm not trying to make it about myself or necessarily individual matchup, right? That's not the way our team is set up. Sometimes just the flow of the game, it is your night. You are getting more shots or whatever. But we just got such a well-balanced team that it might not necessarily be your night. Other guys may have it going, and you have to, you have to respect that. I said all the time, we talk about respecting each other's space and understanding the flow of the game. So it's not upon me to like hijack the game and try to make it about me and it's a national TV game. Other guys had it going. So if I had to be in the corner, if I had to be a facilitator at times, so be it.
Stop the tape.
Stop the fucking tape, kid.
That right there is everything you need to hear. Like you talk about a guy that's gonna be an all-NBA player, someone that's literally been to the Eastern Conference Finals, the finals. I think he was in the Eastern Conference Finals his rookie year. And someone that's going to make over probably $500 million. And to be that self-aware, to know that, the game is not about me. Yes, they pay me a lot of money to do these things, but I also have to trust my teammates and be able to sit back and play a different role from night to night because we are that talented.
As we said, like in the first, like a couple weeks ago, they have 5 guys on that team that if you see a stat line that they got 30, you wouldn't think twice about it. And they have one dude who's like not as good, but like right there with them.
Right,
like
but
they're
he is
studs.
He is your best player. And if your best player is willing to sacrifice and run to the corner and do the little things, who do you think you are to be on that team and you can't do those things? And the reason why I bring it up is because there's been a epidemic in youth sports where kids, even going into college, high school, where me, I'm quitting this. I'm not going to play here because I'm not getting enough shots. I'm not going to play here because this coach doesn't give me the ball enough. He just wants me to run to the corner. Well, newsflash, let me tell you this. Jason Tatum is a million times better than all you guys.
Come on.
And he's willing to do these little things so that he can win. And why is he doing it? Because winning brings everybody happiness. If you win, the great J. Cole said this. He said, you win, the love's a little different.
Yeah.
The fame's a little different. The money's a little different. That's everything that everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
So then why wouldn't you want to do everything that you can to win? And that's why I wanted to point it out, because yes, there is a funny aspect to this podcast, but that was something that I think young hoopers out there, you really need to dial into, because one of the best players in the world, and probably will eventually be,
one of the best players. He's going
to play in this game because he's still young, is willing to go out there and tell you, listen, I'm not going to hijack a game because I feel like, I deserve this. No, I'm going to play the right way because I want to win. Because what does winning bring? Winning brings happiness. Winning makes everything a totally different level.
It seems like that's the type of guy you want to be teammates with. That's like, not to use a war term. No, it's like that's a guy you want in a foxhole.
I don't want to be teammates with him. Not this year.
Yeah, not this year. Maybe a different time. But I don't mean you specifically. I mean a guy. Like that's a guy that you're like, okay, that's a good leader. That's someone that's willing to do the things I'm doing. And I think you hit it on the head. It's like, learn how to win. Learn how to find your role to win, and everything will work itself out.
Yeah, and you may be the best player, but that still doesn't mean you don't have to sacrifice.
Also, every team ever needs, there's the number one, and then every other team needs 2 through 8 also. So like if you're a really good 3, right, meaning like the third best player or a third option, that can get you to the next level if you're really good at it. So
yeah. Speaking of sacrifice.
Okay.
I don't know if you tuned into women's basketball today, but it seemed
I was driving.
It seemed
from New Jersey.
It seemed like
in a snowstorm.
South Carolina and LSU were willing to sacrifice a couple of their players for the first round of the NCAA tournament so they could get down and dirty in the South today.
I think we might have a clip here, and I hate to say this like publicly because I say this privately. I'm not a big Kim Mulkey fan. I just something about
Kim Mulkey, you were
great coach, incredible coach.
You were in the Big 12. You were at Baylor while I was at Iowa State. I always got love for you, girl, but I'll speak to Kevin.
But you can change my mind.
Run the tape.
Let's run the tape of the beginning of it, and then we'll listen to what she said here.
No one wants to be a part of that. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese.
See,
hold on. Slow down the tape and look at the guy with the backwards hat coming in from the stands.
Where?
Who is this guy? To the right. Slow it down. Keep going. Keep going. Ready? And then over the scores table, someone comes from the stands and hops over the scores table.
It's got to be a security guard.
No, that's not. That's got to be someone's parent.
Someone's uncle.
Honestly, it stinks that it comes down to this because the women's game has grown tremendously over the last couple years. Like they've done a tremendous job, and basketball is at its purest form, whether if it's tactically or emotionally, and you just see the raw emotion and drive of these women out here, and it's beautiful. And obviously this is taking away from that because just like the Malice in the Palace with Detroit and in Indiana, you have people labeled as like, they're going to be like, oh, this person's a bad person. This person's a thug.
Some people are waiting. They're waiting for these.
To put this label on them. Yes. This is not it. This is emotions are running high. South Carolina is undefeated. LSU has a chip on their shoulder. They're trying to win. They won a national championship last year.
Yeah.
But, obviously this needs to be clean. This needs to be cleaned up. They're both going to be punished for it. Yeah, but we still got to show some love for the dude that came out the stands with the backwards Yankees hat on. 59-50, boy. I seen you. That's fresh.
He came in quick. My only thing is with what Coach said after the game. It's like, okay, if you're going to be the person that's like, you hate to see it, be that person then. Don't then back it up with, don't back it up with, I wish you would have done that to Angel Reese. Yeah. It's like, okay, come on. Which one are you? Are you someone that's like saying it's really bad for the game and being like, I wish that didn't happen? Or are you someone that's fanning the fire a little bit? Because it's like, it seems like she's fanning the fire a little bit there.
Yeah,
and I just, also, I hate to say this publicly, the way she dresses bothers me a little bit. And I believe last year they had a Kim Mulkey day and everybody dressed up. Did you see this at LSU?
I didn't.
There was a Kim Mulkey day and everybody dressed like Kim Mulkey. So it's basically just like loud dress suits, basically.
You seem like you have a personal issue with Kim Mulkey.
I do. You know what? I'm cranky. I drove all the way from New Jersey today in a snowstorm. And
that's the sacrifice we need.
Yeah.
That is the sacrifice we need. But LSU, Go ahead and play that little boozy. Set it off. I see y'all.
I wonder what their opening music is going to be when they're warming up. If it's like all fight music.
Oh, who knows? But obviously, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Listen, I'm going to be watching this women's tournament more than I've watched any other tournament. You have like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese again, South Carolina. You have all these like they're stars. These women athletes are stars at the collegiate level, and I think it's really awesome. There's one more thing I want to bring up before we move on to our next movie or our next video, and that's some really sad news. Our boy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as they call him, Robbie Avila. I think I was saying Avila, and I think it's Avila. Anyway, our boy lost in the conference championship. I don't know if they're going to get an at-large bid. You hope they do. Yeah. They lost to the 2-seed Drake.
Wait, they lost to R.I.P. to the.
Is that your favorite Drake song? What's your favorite Drake song?
I don't know.
Controlla by far. Yes, they lost to Controlla, and so I hope that's not the last we see of him this year. He's only a sophomore. Hopefully he'll be on the summer circuit. Hopefully we can get him to Dykeman and NYC.
Robbie, don't go.
Don't go.
Robbie,
don't go.
Robbie, I'm not ready for you to come take my job in the NBA. Go back to college, all right?
Peace to the God, though. Peace to the God. Hopefully they get an at-large
NCAA,
bid.
do the right thing. The world needs to see Robbie and the Indiana State Sycamores in the NCAA tournament. So Selection Sunday will be next Sunday. We need to get that done.
Let's get it in. I think you have a lot of pull. You may have a
Rec specs are here.
Back. Okay, changing gears. Let's get to the NFL a little bit. There's some news, newsworthy things that came in today. Before we get to that, there's one thing I haven't asked you yet that has a lot to. It's basically a selfish thing.
Yeah.
What do you think the Bears are going to do with Justin Fields? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to trade the first pick? What should they do? What's your opinion on it? And then we can get a little bit to your boy Mac Jones, who got traded. But what do you think, Justin Fields? What's going to happen with this guy?
I think the Bears are gonna keep him. You know, I think he's shown enough promise in the back half of the year. I don't know what his exact stats were, but they won some games. They were in some games, and you know, like anything, this stuff takes time. And no offense to the Chicago Bears, but they haven't been the greatest with
anything. With anything at all.
I wasn't going to say that because you've been getting real negative today, and I know you had that 9-hour drive out here, but you've been getting real negative, and I'm
feeling
and
a little
I kind of give
today.
the positive spin, but you know, they haven't really done a great job drafting. They do some good things elsewhere, but I'm not so sure that drafting another quarterback is the way to go.
Dude, I agree with you. And you hope that this guy, Ryan Poles, has got it figured out. I say trade away the first pick, get an absolute haul for it, go back to 3, like basically trade places with Washington because Washington wants him anyway. Get Washington, and then at that third spot, get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh,
killer.
H-I.
Oh, we need you. Funny story about Marvin Harrison Sr.
Okay.
I used to serve him at the Cherry Hill Chili's. He would come in on Monday nights.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey?
Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, dude.
What was he doing living there?
He's a Philly guy. So he was like moved out to the burbs. He would come in and order chicken crispers, which are like chicken fingers. Yeah. And, you know, he would get like the fruity margaritas. Nicest guy is like the most nice dude. He was always in there. Real low key. Won't say nothing coming to the bar. Tip me good. He was really cool, man.
Did you like run back with your little Razor flip phone and be like, hey, Chris, you're not gonna believe what's in here. You got the chicken crispers and the strawberry margaritas. They're like, dude, take a picture.
I like
you're the dude around the corner, like.
You hear the click because it's like the old phones, bro. I never had the Razor. I always had like the
chocolate.
Yeah, I had the Nokia like Snake. You know Snake.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I didn't get a smartphone until 2013, which was like late 2014 actually.
You were a late bloomer, late to the party.
So yeah, cool guy. But yes, that did happen. I did tell my boss every time he came in, and my boss's name was Brian, big football guy. Just your
hey, what's up? My name is Brian. I'm the general manager of Buffalo Wild Wings.
He's the prototypical manager where like you would see him getting out of his car in the parking lot like a shitty like Pontiac or something, and he'd get out and like be all disheveled, and then he'd like try to put himself together before he gets in.
Don't
Like,
tell me he's the dude. You know, I know, and I have a lot of friends that are overweight, and I love you guys. You know you're on my people. But any overweight dude that gets out of a car and starts doing the yank down on the shirt,
that's me now. Fuck.
you know who you are, and I love you. And it's just called the little wiggle.
Unfortunately, this is like sad now to kill a story. I think he might have passed away, and so if that's the case, I feel. Shouldn't laugh. I'm so sorry if he is. R.I.P. Let's move off the Chili's thing. Let's get off of this.
That got dark so fast. What's wrong with you?
The truth is like I don't know. I can't remember right now, and I'm just digging a hole worse and worse. Mac Jones got traded. Yeah. You're an avid
I'm a big Patriots
guy. You're from Boston.
Yeah.
So your guy Mac is going to go be a backup in Jacksonville. Thoughts about the future of your team? What do you see?
We wish him nothing but the best, you know, because that's the type of organization that we're a part of. I say we, because I've been through 29 good years of successes with the Patriots. Yeah, I mean, he had a rough stint. You know what I mean? He started off just okay, and then kind of never really turned the corner, and then they were going back and forth. I hate to be that guy to be like Mac Jones is terrible, because that's not who I am, but he didn't live up to the hype that he had.
Be honest. Have you ever, now you just got to be honest here.
Yeah.
In a bar, in the off season, early on season like of the NFL, before you're at training camp, you're having a few drinks Sunday, you're with your boys, you see Mac Jones have a good game, you've said this guy fucking sucks.
I've seen him have a good game.
You see him having like a bad game, I meant to say.
No, but
What's the worst you've said?
There's been a couple people that I've sat with that have been
and
like,
you agree.
They're like, oh my God, this dude fucking throws an interception every time we go down the fucking field. It's bullshit.
Who is this
Put
guy?
Bailey Zappi in there. Bailey Zappi. He has a fucking missile. Put him in there. He's gonna throw
rocket.
He's gonna throw the long bomb. You know, Bill's gonna get the defense. They're gonna stop some people. Bailey Zappi is our future. And you know, there's me at the bar that's like, you know, they may be right. But no, I don't like hating on Max Jones, but he did not have a good stint with the Patriots. And you know what? Just because it didn't go right the first time doesn't mean you're not going to have a great career, because guess what? There's people out there like Baker Mayfield, and let me tell you, there is a video of Baker Mayfield back in the day when he was playing for Oklahoma when the Dougie.
Oh yeah, he was like,
and that's out, and he's doing that tonight because he just signed for $100 million, and 50 of it is guaranteed. And it didn't work out in Cleveland. It didn't work out in LA for Baker. But
you're forgetting Carolina.
Carolina too. Yes. But guess where it worked out?
Tampa Bizzle.
Yeah.
And he got a bag.
He's getting them big bucks.
I'd like to give you a couple stats about Baker Mayfield while you're talking about. First off, I can say it because I'm white. Any white guy that can do that, that's swagged out like that, you need on your team. The other one is Drew Lock. What song was he singing? Drew Lock. It was like it was the Kanye and I put on for my city on when they see me off in traffic. Say, anytime you got a swagged out quarterback like that, dude, you got to pay him the money. Yeah. Okay, in 2022. Combining Carolina and LA. Okay. Baker Mayfield threw for 2,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions.
That's just like
that's like Daniel Jones numbers. It's like not very good, even though Daniel Jones got paid too. In 2023, he threw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, and also won a playoff game. Did they win a playoff game? I think they did.
Yeah.
Turns around and gets $100 million with. It could be $115 million with incentives and $50 million of it guaranteed. He just put $50 million in his pocket, and people were saying he was going to be out of the league last year.
I want to be like Baker Mayfield and get bigger bucks. Congrats, pal.
Incredible. Let's hear it for him. That's just incredible.
Golf clap for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I love that guy. And I have a friend who's like hung out with him, done some golf content, says he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Really?
Yeah, and you root for good people like that that's been through it. That's a kid that was a walk-on. He did not get a scholarship out of college. He was a walk-on and ended up winning Heisman Trophy and was the first overall pick. And then hit adversity again. And when you've been through adversity and you've gotten through it, you do it again. And that's exactly what happened to Baker.
Baker, you know what you're doing tonight. Teach you how to Dougie. Congrats.
Speaking of swagged out, I mean absolute swagged out players and maybe younger players, there's a couple things we have to get to because you're a hockey guy yourself.
Yeah, I am. And you know that the Minnesota, yes, don't you know, roll the boat. Minnesota high school hockey where the beauties come out.
The state tournament was this past week or a week ago.
Are, and
look at these studs, dude.
Hey, what's up, boys? It's Bill Guerin Jr. here. You know, my parents grew up in Calgary.
From Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you ever heard of the Saddle Dome? Yeah, but I moved here to Edina.
Dude, this guy's cornroad out. Like he's riffraff. He's
and
I'm
just here to go bar down. Yeah, look, great flow. I'm here to go bar down, backhand sauce. Yeah, you know.
I don't know any. How do you know these terms?
I have great flow. I'm gonna skip college and I'm just gonna go play in the queue.
What's
and then
the
I'll just get drafted.
What is the Q?
I don't know what the Q. I think it's like the QHL. I went to prep school, and you know, hockey players have their own lingo. Just like I'm sure they'll say that our lingo is pretty. You know, basketball lingo is pretty urban.
Yeah,
you know, not
you said that with a capital U.
To put it lightly.
That was a joke.
But I think the thing that attracted me to this was, I don't know what school it was. They were wearing purple jerseys, but to come in, score a goal, and then get down on one knee and put your.
You want to watch it? We have that clip.
Your glove.
These kids
on your blade and get down on one knee and act like you're taking a selfie.
Dude, how are these kids? These kids are teenagers. How are they so swagged out? I don't get it. Like, and by the way, they're playing in front of packed NHL stadiums. Yeah. They've packed these. This is like the 2A school, which I don't even know if that's big or little. Sometimes 2A is little, sometimes 2A is big. Yeah. This kid, dude, like, how are you this cool? I was never this cool in high school, ever.
Stud, like Minnesota Gopher hockey.
Dude.
You better just go park it in the Minnesota Wilds arena and recruit every single kid that steps foot on that ice.
If these kids, like you talk about NIL deals, if these kids aren't getting NIL deals as high school kids, I mean, I did see a documentary that like I think Netflix had on Minnesota high school hockey. It was incredible. But there needs to be another one. There needs to be a show. I need to like watch this. I can't get enough of these kids just swagged out, taking fake selfies.
Yeah, that was unreal.
By the way, you look good. Can we get the hat back on? I think the hat was pretty nice. Okay, there's a couple questions that we have tapped in from our Instagram. We polled the audience. Right now, our audience is small. Our audience is going to grow. But we got a couple good questions. The first one comes in from Matt from Philadelphia, either Philadelphia or Princeton, New Jersey, or possibly Haddonfield, New Jersey. He wants to know what the food situation is like in NBA when you're traveling. Do you get food on the plane, or do you leave? Like, say you're traveling, like you just came in with food, right?
Yeah, Matt, I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't have discipline, there becomes real issues with the food because it almost seems like you're being fed
shit.
You know, no, we're being fed well and like 5 times a day. You know, before you go to shoot around, there's breakfast.
What is that? Speak about that.
On the road. So when you wake up, you usually do a morning practice to kind of go over the other teams.
Yeah.
You know, plays and, you know, kind of get together, get the legs moving so guys aren't laying around all day. And so when you wake up, there's usually 9:30 bus. There's usually like a grab-and-go breakfast.
Okay.
Chorizo. You know,
what do you mean, a chorizo?
No. Let me finish. Chorizo, egg, cheese in a burrito.
Oh, yeah, fire. I'd smack 2
Exactly. And they have like a bunch of them laid out there so you can just grab it, hop on the bus, grab your water. Of course, who wouldn't want to take one of those?
Yeah.
Well, shoot-around's only an hour, so we get there at 10 o'clock, 10 to 11, get back by 11:30. Oh, guess what?
Brunch.
Yeah.
So now you have choice of breakfast or lunch.
Yeah.
And this is at the hotel?
Yep.
So
like, then you go back to that.
Like?
So you ate your breakfast burrito. Now you're back for lunch. And, oh, yeah. Well, when we get to the arena, the team's going to have, you know, a spread for you at about 4:35, you know, just so before you can eat before the game. Great. Yeah. Oh, Oh, awesome.
And is that usually healthy?
There's
or
probably
sometimes...
salmon, rice, chicken, steak, whatever you want it. So, there's
jelly.
always PB&Js.
Yeah.
And let me tell you about PB&Js. They're delicious. But
You're
the more you
telling me.
eat of them, the bigger you get.
Yeah.
You know?
The amount of PB&Js that I eat, because I make them for my son, because my toddler is what I call a toddlerist. Yeah. And he's like, Daddy, I want this. And then I make it, and then he doesn't eat it. And then
you eat
I
it.
eat it. And then I just eat 3 things before he eats the one goddamn thing I'm trying to get him to eat.
That's why you should just go and buy from the store the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich that was ever made in the history of PB&Js, and they're called Uncrustables. Uncrustables, you know who you are. You've been making us addicted for about 20 years now. Pop them open. You can eat them in 2 seconds. They're 300 calories, and you're the reason
You got a wagon.
I had an overweight childhood. Yeah, but then after that, the game's over, and then they have another
more
spread.
spread, yeah.
And then guess what? When you get to the plane, they have another spread.
Yeah, but what's that spread like on the plane? Like,
It's the same thing. It's like steak, rice. It's like, tacos. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes there's mac and cheese.
Do they put booze out for people who want to have like a glass of wine?
I would say the NBA is very pro BYOB.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you could get like, and somebody like an assistant would be like, hey, can you just give me a bottle of wine so I can drink, have a couple glasses on the way, like on the airplane home or whatever?
Sometimes those suitcases, they aren't filled with clothes.
Yeah.
There might be a little wine in there. Just depends on what type of teammates you have.
Now, what if you get in late? Like, what if you get in like 2 a.m. at the hotel? Will they have another late night spread, like a fourth meal?
That would be
Too much.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go to sleep at that point. You're getting sick. Seriously. You look like Sean O'Malley with that green hair.
Speaking, good fight with Sean O'Malley. This isn't a question, but this makes me wonder. Like, I'm not going to ask you this because I don't want to put you on the spot. Like, I'd have a lot of anxiety around like when I was going to take a shit, like before that. So like, if I knew practice is like at 9 a.m., I'd have to wake up at like 7 to get the coffee in. Do you guys ever? You don't have to answer, but do you guys ever talk about like are there guys that just like get nervous and have bubble guts before games, or like what's that like?
If you're having nerves before the game, don't tell me and figure it out yourself. You're a grown man.
Somebody wants to know if you would. G Long 100 wants to know if you would miss a playoff game for a podcast taping. I mean, I drove from New Jersey.
Yeah, no.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't do that. That seems like
Not really a smart business decision, does it?
Are you about your paper? Or are you about the clout?
Yeah.
And G Long,
Is that enough?
1 2 1 2 1 3 4.
Yeah.
It seems like you're about the clout. And
He's
I
about
don't
it.
think that's something that I'm about. Next question.
You've somehow molded into this person. I now believe you have this hair. Like, you kind of look like someone who has that hair.
Dialed in.
Okay, I'm sorry. Someone did ask, how would the average couch potato who scored 35 with a running clock fare in an NBA game? If I had to play the full 48 minutes, I'd get 2 points.
No.
You don't think I could get 2?
There's no way.
Full 48 minutes?
Well, think about it like this. There's people that train their whole life, right? Their whole life, and they have gotten to the NBA on like 10 days and like played at high level. I'm sure your YMCA in
Lifetime Fitness.
Lifetime Fitness in New Jersey is high level. I've honestly witnessed someone get slapped in those games. So it's extremely high level, right? You got to fight for your life and then fight for the ball.
Yes.
So imagine them not being able, they've worked their whole life, they've lifted, they've conditioned, they do that. And you think someone who drives 9 hours on a Sunday, puts on a green wig, is going to be able to get into an NBA game and score 2 points?
Off sheer luck. I'm not saying skill.
I know the green is St. Patty's Day is coming up soon, but
is coming up soon. Okay.
I don't even think people would look at you and pass you the ball.
You may be right. In fact, a lot of people don't pass me the ball
But if
now.
you were going up against me, I'd foul you on purpose.
Just to see me miss the free throws?
No, just to give you an opportunity.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
That's what best friends do. And speaking of best friends, someone asked me, where did Best Friends on 3 originate from, which is what me and my men's league do.
Yeah.
And that's because we're all very close friends. We're all best friends. And so we say, I want to get so close that I can like smell my friends. I want to be able to smell what they smell like when they sweat. And so we get really close in, and I say, bring it in. Now everybody breathe in deep, and we can all smell each other's air and aromas, and it gets us horny for the game. Those are called pheromones. And once we get those pheromones really juiced, then we say, best friends. And then we go out there, and that's how we play our best basketball game. What do you guys say in your huddles at the end of them? Do you guys say something similar, or?
No,
You don't?
No, we just say together. Like
Okay,
I
yeah,
think the word together, like
Encapsulates what I was trying to do.
we can skip out all like the smelling and getting real close and put our arms within arm's distance, and that makes us feel the togetherness that we need to go out there.
Is
and
there
attack.
one guy who's like always trying to touch your hand in the thing? Like, is there what? Like, is
No.
Darius Garland like just for whatever reason always next to you trying to touch your hand?
No,
You're like, bro, what are you doing?
That's
Not the case.
that isn't the thing.
Okay, well, you know what? That's what we say, and that's how we close out the huddle. And so I think maybe we could bring it in here. I'm not going to smell you, but maybe we could just bring it in here and say, on the count of three, best friends on three. One, two, three, best friends. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Bench Sheet. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, say nice things, say mean things, make fun of my teeth if you'd like. Don't make fun of George. He didn't wear purple shoes today, which is a win for us. So don't make fun of him, but you can make fun of me. Tune in next week where we'll talk about balls and other stuff.